right, hey everybody, my name is Todd Bright. Welcome to Redline Live. This is the All in Gesture members feedback session. And okay, cool. Thank you, Matt and Jenny. I think we're good on the microphone now. All right, this is why I have my tech people with me on the other line. We're good to go. Um, all right, we're back. All right, so we have some really good feedback to go over tonight. We have some really good drawings from some of the students, and we're going to get into that. Let's switch here. All right, pushing buttons. Okay. All right. How about we take that from the top there? Um, Welcome to Redline Live. My name is Todd Bright, and this is a feedback and Q&A session. And we're going to be going over some of the All in Gesture student drawings tonight. And they've submitted for feedback. We do this every Wednesday on Instagram and YouTube, and also for our members. Thank you for joining us tonight or this morning or wherever you are. And let's just get into it, shall we? Okay. Who do we got up first here? We have Mr. Corey. Awesome. All right, Corey, fun stuff this week. Corey's been kicking butt and doing a lot of drawings with our in our archive. And our archive is, gosh, over 200 episodes, which is substantial. So Corey had some really fun stuff. Corey, I think you're really improving with your movement and stuff. Let's see here. This guy, I'm looking at this fella here. Oh, and for those of you who weren't with us on Saturday, our theme this week, we've been doing some fun summertime themes. And our theme this week was a camp counselor. It's like a summer camp counselor person. And so that was kind of fun. But dude, just looking at these proportions, looks like the torso got a little bit away. I like the movement though you got. He has that nice leaning forward thing. Let's see, I forget what he was doing. Let's see, what was this guy doing here? It almost looks like he's pushing something. Or maybe this was the Frisbee one. I can't remember. But we try to focus on, guys, is a lot of storytelling in our drawing. And I know I'm drawing over my head right now. But let's see here. But I was just looking at the proportions here, and I'm just gonna basically do what you did. But sometimes when I'm finding the proportions are getting off, just to focus a little bit more on that line of action. Sometimes it's a nice strong one, I think, like with this pose, or at least it could be. But one thing it helps me to do when I think about helping proportion is to look at the drawing as a whole and like pretty much almost zooming out in a way. And yeah, drawing that thing. So our camp counselor character had a lot of activities going on. He had some tube socks and short shorts, and we were trying to make it like a fun movie version of a camp counselor. He had a tank top and things like that. But yeah, so just watch those proportions. Again, when you do look at the whole snapshot, it helps you to plot and really look at the whole thing. You're looking at the angles of the head and the shoulders and the hips and the feet and just how those things are relating. So, but beyond that, I think that's all to pick on with that one. Let's see here. The one on the left, let's see. Where are you? Thanks for joining us tonight, Instagram. I see you over there. Cool. Taking a quick gander here. So Instagram, if you guys have any questions tonight, I'd be happy to answer them. So we're here for a little while, talking about stuff. Any animation questions or drawing questions or anything like that? Chit chat about it. I love chit chatting. All right, so this was one where our camp counselor was trying to get out of the rain, I guess, and he had an umbrella that was not working. It was misbehaving. And I think what you did was pretty good. I remember the pose itself was a little, I don't know, not very action-y, you know? And trying to remember what I did, but it's almost like when you push this idea of, because this happened to me coming out of work just last week, I think, and it was with this umbrella, so that's my umbrella. It wasn't working, and I was like standing out in the rain like, what the crap, you know? And so when you think of that moment, you're just like, you know, you're trying to get this button to push, or maybe you're pulling or things like that. And it might be cool. Maybe I could steal your straight arm there that you did. Like he's really pulling down, and maybe you're just frantic and you're trying to push and pull. Maybe you're forcing something. Just really getting into the moment of what this character might be doing, and I might just try stuff, you know, like last week we really talked a lot about pushing poses and just the importance of when we're doing this type of exercise, especially with a model, not to copy the model, but really to maybe find the essence of what they're doing. Sometimes the model pose is fantastical and it's wonderful and it's really exaggerated and they're really flexible. I don't know. And but a lot of the times it's like just seeing them what the model's up to as a reference, you know, and be inspired by the narrative they're trying to spin for us, you know, and push it. So, and maybe, you know, I say this a lot, but like getting out of your seat, literally, and striking that pose, you know. I think the one I did in class, he was running and trying to do this. I think I had him, my guy, running. I don't need to do that. This one I'll just do bend his legs, So I'm just kind of like arching his back a little bit more, pushing it a little bit, like trying to introduce some franticness and some mad activity by doing some opposite forces, like, like this pushing down with this straight arm, and maybe a pulling up with this arm. He's holding onto the thing, and this thing's frantic. You could draw rain if you really wanted to, but anyway, all that to say, it's like pushing that moment. Sometimes it's, you might copy the pose. I see some students do this, where they go off and do a thumbnail on the side of like, oh, I could have pushed this, or just like a quickie. But beyond that, you had some really strong stuff this week. Really cool, man. Thank you for submitting your work, sir. Cassie, really cool stuff. Thanks for sharing your drawings this week. I really liked this drawing. I thought it was really strong. The models, I think in the moment of the story, he was teaching pickleball or something like that. And it was kind of a fun moment, or a fun idea. But the pose that he was in was very laid back, just kind of like, like almost very casual, And I liked how you pushed this, Cassie, so I just wanted to show it off. It looks really cool, and I liked it straight in that arm there. You got some really good motion there, so very nice, Cassie. Byron asked, thanks for the question, Byron. Very cool. Are you leading these every week? Yes, I am. I teach a Saturday Saturday morning workshop, and it's recorded. And it's in my studio here with a live model, and it's a live stream, and there's text chat, and so we have a really awesome community of artists that come in every week, and we all draw and get in the mud together. And I'm a firm believer in really, if you want to get better at drawing, just like anything else, you have to do it all the time. And this All in Gesture workshop is a platform to do that. So you don't have to do it alone. And it's crazy. Like this, the start of this tonight, we had tech issues, and sometimes that happens. But anyway, all that to say, it's really fun. And this Wednesday evening thing is our feedback and Q&A session. So these are members' work, and it's a member benefit to get feedback. But I also broadcast it to the universe. So anyway, anyway, Cassie, I like this one. I really love this this shape you have in the back here. It's really interesting. It's very character designy, I almost just wanted to push it a little bit with this arm here. I love this negative space you have here. Really nice. Thank you for the question, Byron, by the way. But I love the strong angles. I'm just copying what you did here. I think you could something about that crotch line there. Just getting that correct overlap, and almost looks a little bit skirt-ish, but that's a little detail. I love the wrapping around the neck thing you have with the head. He's obviously frustrated, and all I would do is maybe push this arm out a little bit, or a lot. Like almost, it's a little, maybe my idea is a little, what do you call that? Ordinary or expected, but there's something about when I saw this, I was like, oh, I love the design and the cool stuff you've got going on. But I might bring that arm out to give it that ordinary and very expected body language of hand on hip, that kind of thing. But beyond that, really, really cool. Proportions look good, all those wonderful things. This one was fun. I thought you had a fun take on it. this was our camp counselor. I think was just carrying a lot of crap, and frustrated, and I think we were kind of going with that thought. Um, we were talking about a drawing I did once for a Disney advertisement. It was just Goofy, like sports Goofy, carrying a lot of sports equipment and like falling over, and you know, and just I remember working on that. I'll have to try to find that image, but it was like working on that and trying to figure like the most ridiculous situation and pose where it's just like, you know, and really pushing that idea. And I think you pushed yours wonderfully from what the model was doing, and which is exactly, again, what we're really pushing for, is that word again, in the class itself, just to recognize that. I kind of wonder if you could take it even further to show, I don't know. Again, it's not that yours is wrong or something, but I almost want to, since we're here chatting, um, push it further a little bit. It gets a little flat. I almost want to, not that everything has to be knock knees, but I'm a knock knees fan or nerd. I don't know. And but I almost want him hunched over more, like he's bent over, like, butt sticking out a little bit, and maybe he's just up to the rafters here. He's got just all these sports equipments and cones. I think we had some cones in there, and really just go crazy. And the graphic-y lines are fun, but I feel like don't forget the form. There's that whole Glenn Villepeu bean, torso bean, right, shape to track, really tracking the rib cage and the hips and how these two things relate. And so when I'm thinking about this bending, or I already covered it with all this crap, but when I'm thinking about this bending over thing, like the hips are in here, maybe the clavicle is here, right? And just the, I know I'm drawing a weird bean man, but just to get that a little bit of dimension there, because I think that's part of the fun of this pose is the bend. And you have the bend, but I think you could take it a little further with a little bit of form, just making sure we're looking. And I struggle with this too, sometimes you're thinking of the outside silhouette, but really think about that three-dimensional thing that you're drawing, okay? But I'm just picking any Cassie. Really nice, fun stuff, a lot of energy. All right, Sarah, what's going on here? Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna check that chat. All right. Thanks, Byron. Sorry, I keep forgetting to check the chat. Here we are. Okay. And who's here? We still have Matt and Jenny here? Cool. Matt and Jenny, if you're still with me, I appreciate your feedback. You saved the day with the audio there. Okay. I'm going to do one button push over here. And we're going to get into Sarah's work. Oh, hang on one second. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, hello there, YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, Tony, I'm going to show my class. Can I show my students? Yeah? So my daughter's in the studio this evening, and she drew me this beautiful, colorful picture. Isn't this lovely? Come on. Come on, people.
Check on the other side.
Check on the other side? Okay. You are this valuable to me. Oh, and it's a gem.
Gem valuable.
Gem valuable. Thanks,
That's
sweet
how
girl.
valuable you are.
Thank you. You're so sweet. Okay. All right, we're back here. Let's keep going here. All right. Thanks for jumping in the over there at Instagram. I appreciate that. All right, we're back here. Let's do this thing. Little family moment there. Okay, Sarah. Really cool. Sarah, I liked how you, when you sent this to me, you told me that you weren't happy with that side view. Matt and Jenny said, awesome, Tony. You weren't happy with the side view, so you did this front view here. And I really liked it. I just wanted to show it off. Very cool. Let me bring that over. Oh, this moved on me. There we go. One thing, I was looking at that hand, and this is just a little thing, because I think you did fine with his pose adjustment that you did. Sarah, I know you've been working hard, and I could see the steps and everything you've been making. Really cool. And but I was looking at that hand. It almost looks like he's using the hand as it's like he's levitating it, the ball. And I know what you're doing because of you want to flick it up and then catch it, flip, And I almost want to pick like one way or the other, with this kind of if you're going to do a pose like this, just to make this individual pose read, right? Let's see. I'll just draw this top half here because I'm going to scribble this in here. But I almost want to flick the wrist up or pick one, one or the other. What would that do? So if I were to flick, like flick, flick, it's like, it's like have that bend of the wrist there. Because I feel like if everything's, and maybe he's about to catch it, maybe it's on the way down, but it's like boom. Even then, I think I'd want the hand up a little bit, and then you would have a cushion if you were to animate it. Like it would have a cushion to fall into, you know what I mean? Like you go flick, and then doof. And it really wouldn't reverse until you caught the ball. Because if you reverse it and then you caught it, it would probably just roll right off your hand, or you wouldn't feel that contact. Does that make sense? And so yeah, it's just a detail, but I'm going off my page here. But there we go. It could be like that, straight. I don't know if I like straight or not. Or it could be a bend. But I want that hand up. Probably a bend of the wrist would be better. But yeah. Yeah, I think the bend of the wrist idea would be better. That would feel nice. But yeah, other than that, just a little detail there, Miss Sarah. And this one, hello over there in Instagram. Thanks for joining me. We're doing a Q&A and feedback session tonight. So if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. Word up. Oh, hold up. Spinning wheel of death. There it goes. Let's gonna make this a little smaller. So this was a tough one. We just talked about this particular pose with we had the model in, and it was we talked about pushing poses a lot, and he had like a soft hit. Basically, we're doing pickleball for those of you just joining us, and this is one of the activities our camp counselor character was doing, And we had lots of games and activities in our, in our drawing session. Anyway, so how can we push this a little bit? I think your pose reflects exactly what he was doing, which is cool. It's solid. It's a solid drawing. But I feel like, what can we do to push that moment here? Maybe a little twist there. It's going to draw a stick figure. Again, it's one of those things, get up and maybe do it yourself. Like, do that motion. I'd be like, boof, have a little twist to my back maybe, if you wanted to keep the legs going the way you have it. You know? Might drag that leg, or you can even kick that leg up. Just something to give it some movement there. But I'll go with your angle here of the hips. But I think the main thing with tennis, or in this case our little pickleball racket thing, is that twisting motion, you know? Yeah, I think that would help. So I'm almost like leaving it, the crotch facing us, the hips, you know? And then, yeah, profile of the, whatchamacallit. So just a little twist there, and there's so many other things you could do. You could have him dive for it. You could have him really, really twist his body. Like maybe he's doing something that's not even going on there. It's like he had to pivot really fast, you know, just to get some dynamic in there. It's like, whoa, I was going this way, now we're gonna go this way. You know, it's supposed to be a calf muscle. What the? That kind of a thing. So much we can do, especially when we talk about, you know, kind of going outside the rules here. Cool? But yeah. Okay. Well, very nice, Sarah. Erica, how's it going? Erica, thanks for submitting your stuff. I really liked your walking guy here. Very confident look. I like, he looks like a confident sports guy, you know, very fun. Let's see here. So I really liked him. Really nice. His legs got a little teeny in your proportions, but other than that, that's all I got to say. Just little things, just being nitpicky, but I really liked the energy in that one. Really fun. Very cute. Yeah, this one, I think this was the carrying sports equipment one that we kind of saw one of these earlier. And again, it could be a thing. We could even play with a different aspect of it. Maybe again, this is just me pushing things around a little bit just to try it. I like your knock knees. Again, I love me the knock knees thing. It's like, ooh, awkward moment going on or whatever. But maybe his could push up just to try it. You know, why not? Like, these would be like equipment or things spilling out. But maybe he's, you know, like, ah, just to push some dynamic, you know what I mean? Play with angles just to push things. And this is kind of an extreme, like just like that last drawing of Sarah's we were looking at, this is kind of an extreme type of pose. Like there's action, there's things going on. And not everything has to be extreme and awesome. Subtlety is also important. But right now we're talking about some heavy action-y things and things that could be funny. Like slapsticky, kind of thing. And I don't know. This could be cones and could be a few things getting loose here, a couple baseballs, or I don't know, whatever. Cool. So all that to say, maybe play with angles to push things around. So shoulders down, shoulders this way, I don't know. But other than that, just being picky. Love it. These were cool. Same kind of thing. Just watch those legs. Let's see here. I'm going to adjust this guy here. Oh, there we go. That would help. All right. Thanks for joining us here over on Instagram. Right now we're live. We have a few chats going on. We're on YouTube and we're on Instagram. We're also live with our member chat. So we got a few of you scattered about. This is a Q&A and feedback. So if you have any questions over there on Instagram, I see you over there. Welcome in. Get a little coffee. But yeah, we do this on Wednesdays. This is our all in gesture feedback session. And Q&A. What up? All right. Doing one quick gander here. Oh, hey, Sarah. I see you over there on YouTube. Awesome. You're welcome. Cool. You are so welcome. Very fun. Thanks for hopping in there. Hello, Ken Duncan. Awesome. Love your work, sir. Let's see here. All right, this one looks like he's pacing. I feel pretty good about it. Yeah, I don't know. I might just push this guy a little bit. He's walking. I don't know. I kind of like the energy you have in it. Maybe just work on those proportions a little bit. And I might do that with the arms just to clear the silhouette of his body a little bit. Anything to push that readability with silhouette. Looks like I move this over a hair here so you can see it. Whoop. Maybe, hang on, there we go. There we go. Okay, yeah, so anyway, all that to say, just, yeah. I do like the bend of your back there, that's really cool, and the chest out kind of a thing. Yeah, that headband on. But yeah, a little thing, push those arms out a little bit. Because when I squint my eyes, it gets lost, so just give me a little bit of negative space there in the middle. But that's it. Cool. Thank you, Miss Erica. Very nice. Oh, we did that one? Okay. Moving on. And Lori. Very nice. All right, all right. Cool. Sorry, checking those chats and stuff over there. Very nice. Okay. Miss Lori. Very cool. What do we got here? We got another. I like how you pushed the leg up in the pose there from what the model was doing. Looks like here's taking a shot. I think I have that on my board back here. I do. Cool. Um, let's talk about this one. So with this one, I liked how you were pushing the leg up, like I just said. Oh, geez. Come on. Let me in. There we go. It's going to clear a little bit of room here. But I feel like drawing-wise, it gets a little segmenty. Is that a word? Segmented? And I wonder if we could use the whole body with like a bit simpler of a statement to get that whoosh in there. Because I'm looking at the outside edges here, and it's kind of like boom, and the legs kind of boom, boom, like that. And I wonder, what can we do here? Can we do something to incorporate? I'll try to do what you did here. Like push that line of action a little bit to try to get some rhythm and movement, okay, into that badunk, that whack of the pickleball racket. And maybe he's off centered. And we've done this pose a few times tonight, right? But just a different variation. It's almost like following the energy of the whole body to support the big idea. That makes sense. Cool. Yeah, I think my arms got a little small here, but I was trying to pull off that idea. How can we do that, Yeah, definitely. My arms got stubby, but yeah, simplifying that idea of that line of action, I think, to get that energy flowing. Okay, well, gonna move on. Let's go. Alrighty. Let's see. I think so. Yeah, I kind of did this similar thing you did, which is good with the back bend. It's like he could be hunched over, but I think the arc of the back, the reverse, is pretty cool. Let's see. I like the motion. Like in yours, he's about to shoot, which is cool. And let's see here. I'm just going to start sketching. All right, thinking about that ground plane. All right. And it looks like you introduced a little bit of a twist. I'm looking at mine back here. I have mine kind of sideways, my shoulders, and you introduced a bit of twist, which is pretty cool. But I feel like, okay, I'm going to do your twist. There's something that's flattening out here, and I want to figure that out. How was he holding that ball? Okay. Close to his chest here. I might bring that hand over here. Yeah, his rib cage would be here. So yeah, and I do like your head looking up idea. I think you had that. Sorry, I'm just drawing away here. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like some of the stuff here. Um, I, I'm, I think I'm trying to. I think the torso got short. And there's just some proportion things going on, like with the head and the torso. I do like how you twisted his upper body like towards us a little bit. That was really cool. But yeah, I think that's all. If you're gonna do that, just watch to draw through and really think about that anatomy proportionally, of the rib cage and how it's affect where the hips are in relationship to all that stuff underneath there. Okay, but yeah, other than that, that's all I got, Lori. Very good. Well, all right, checking that chat one more time here. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Other than that, we'll call it a night, or a morning, or an evening, or wherever it is you are at. But yeah, join us this weekend. Thanks for joining us this evening and spending some time looking at some drawings and things like that. So, but join us Saturdays for All in Gesture. We have a live model and live teaching and live chat and things like that. So, and we archive everything. So we have 200 and something, almost 250 episodes to choose from, especially if you're a member. And yeah, you have access to all that good stuff and access to feedback and access to a bunch of crazy artist characters. Anyway, like Matt and Jenny. Sorry, calling you guys out. Thanks for hanging out. And that's it. All right. You guys rock. Have a good evening. And we will see you Saturday. All right.